Hi everybody, thanks for joining us today again. This is Ali, overseas community manager at ChainIDE. Today is the day third of the first week session. Today's topic is mainly designed to make all the audience capable of creating their own blockchain based games. The topic for today's session is how to create your own blockchain based games. And we have invited two great speakers for today's speech. They will instruct us how we can develop our own blockchain based games. The first speaker is Mr. Julian. Mr. Julian is the Overseas Marketing Director at Game Creator, and he will be instructing us how we can use Game Creator to develop our own blockchain based games. Game Creator is a tool that lets you create your own blockchain based games by providing different built in templates. As I already mentioned, the main purpose of today's speech is to make you capable of creating your own blockchain based games. So, at the end of this event, we will be collecting some projects and our team will evaluate those projects, and the best among them will be rewarded. And the second speaker of this event is Mr. Ely. He will also be instructing us how we can create our own blockchain based games using Chain IDE and smart contracts. So, without wasting time, I would like to invite Mr. Julian to start his speech on how we can use Game Creator to create our own blockchain based games. So, Mr. Julian, you can start your speech now.
Hello everyone, welcome to the Winter Developer Bootcamp. My name is Julian. Nice to meet you guys. Today, I'm going to talk about the Game Creator DX, which is a visualized tool to help you create your first blockchain game. In our talk, we will majorly talk about three sections. The first section, I will show you a game which is created by Game Creator DX. It is an ARPG game. You can easily adapt it into a play-to-earn game. Second session, I will briefly introduce the Game Creator DX, this tool itself. In the third section, you will learn how to interact your blockchain game with the smart contract to realize some basic features, such as check the token balance, transfer the tokens, and airdrop tokens. Alright, let's get this started. Before we talk about the Game Creator DX, I would like to introduce you the Game Creator, which is the master version of the Game Creator DX. You probably will ask a question, what's the difference between Game Creator and the DX? So the answer is, DX was the branch version of the Game Creator, and it will having most of the features from the Game Creator, plus the integration ability to blockchain. In Game Creator, most of the games are created by the existing templates, such as RPG, SRPG, and AVG, and so on. So most of our creators, they creating their games with existing template, but there's still some advanced user, they can also even create their own template. Here is some showcases for our excellent games. All of them are created by the Game Creator using the different template. As we just introduced, you can create game by the different templates using the Game Creator. And now we're going to introduce the different type of the template and their demo games. So let's first start with the ARPG game. So this is a demo game we created, and someone is calling help me, and we can WASD to move around this little guy with no ears, and there's a stick on the ground, we pick it up. All right, let's go ahead. Now the guidance says mouse click to attack and space to quickly move. And well, this one is pretty aggressive. Let's tackle him. So we hit him. He hit us. Well, HP is decreasing, and oh yeah. Now we level up and we got a skill. Something like a strike. Yeah. This helps us to tackle down faster. Okay, so let's hit and run. Oh, well, my bad skill, but anyway. One another, and this one. Alright, so in this game template, we got the different systems, like mission system, say now we're going to save and figure out someone who calling for help, and the item system, we can use this is item and this is equipment, and we put this equipment, we got this equipment, and we have a head, and we have a room. Now is the people interface, so we're gonna to equip our sticks and then pull down something other. Okay, we can just pull down the sticks, but this increasing our attack, and we can try. Well, this is amazing. Wow, this guy is aggressive. All right, we have our mission completed. Oh yeah, we have another skill, which is AoE, and we almost complete this game, complete this mission. Now we have a conversation with this NPC, and the NPC is bringing us to somewhere. Oh yeah. Hey, okay. There's village in the front, and take a run there. Okay. Cool. So this is a start for our ARPG game. So you can modify the NPC behavior, and you can customize the systems like item system, equipment system, and the skill set system. Everything you can customize. So now let's move on to the next one. Before we move to the next one, I would like to show you how many things we can customize and modify ourselves from the template. So we open this ARPG template. And we move to the scenes village. So here is the village I just demoed. Here's the NPC. And in Game Creator, you can drag and release a new characters here as an NPC. And you can set the event for this NPC to interact with users and players. As I just mentioned, almost everything in this template can be modified. So let's click here, database. For example, if we move to skill, we can see all the skills we just used in the demo. So this is the strike one, and this is the AoE. So for this AoE set, it can affect to all enemies, or we can change it into only affected to the teammates. Let's change it back. For this one, it is only affected to single enemy, and we can set some using condition for him, such as only could be used in battle, or it could be also used when not in battle. We will set it only used in battle. And we can also change the hit ratio from 100% into 90. We could also change the cooldown time from 1 to 0. The MP cost could be also changed from 0 to anything. Let's change it back. Here we can change if this skill will take the damage and what type of the damage it takes. First is the physical damage and magic damage, and actual damage, or healing, or the MP healing. And we can also choose if these skills will cause in the hate. In this template, we have the hating systems. Currently, if we use this set skill to the enemy, it will cause in 10 hits increasing. Let's move on to the next one. Equipment system. Look at these sticks. It's quite familiar, huh? So this is the sticks we pick up from the first page when we land. Here it will decide which part it could be equipped as a equipment, or on the head, or on body, or on the foot, or as a appeal. So this one is a weapon. So we set it as a weapon. And we can choose if player could sell it, and it could sell for 9,000. Here is the notifications when we pick it up. Here is a stick. And this is a funny version of the notification. Not gentleman stick. And the type of this equipment is the equipment, not the item. Here we can set the parameters of this equipment. How many HP it will increase. Let's say 10. How many attack it will increase. It is 50 now. And how many magic MP it will increase. And agile and hit ratio and critical hit ratio, or even moving speed, defense, SP, and magical defense. It could also be set into some status, such as buff and debuff. When we play the game, we also figure out there's a lot of the interface. They are in Chinese version. And I'm going to change it from Chinese to English, and you can see how many flexibility this game creator will provide you. Here is the people. Just double click. Here is the name. Let's click apply. Oops. Test. People. Let's zoom in a little bit. Oh, that's too much. Let's change it as status. The next one is mission. We change the text from Chinese to English. make the font a little bit small and make it larger. And this one is item. I'm going to make it capitalized. Okay. Here's the skills. And then we change the items into items. Equipments into equipments. Click apply here. Then I'm going to show you the animation systems, which is pretty straightforward. If you have some experiences with Flash before, I think you will get quite familiar. So here, some dots is the keyframe. And here is the different layers. For example, so this is the first animation for the skill, strike, and let's play it. Let's try to add another animation here. So just drag and release. Therefore, so I add 4 here. I'm going to move them together. They're both here. Then I move the timeline into the first frame and change some position. So it will automatically generate the keyframe. Here is the effect. So we can also add something here in the middle. Choose this one, go here, and that one, go there. Let's see the effect. In here, we can also change the color tone. The red, green, blue, and gray. We can also change the exposure. We can also change the rotation angle, transparency, and hue. Let me remove this. And do a different hue change. Let's see what happened there. When play, it will change the color. And we can see the sliding bar is also changing when we play it. So this is very straightforward and intuitive for our creators. And now I'm going to brief you the drawing system of game creator. Let's go here and create a new scene. AABBCC. Let's randomly name it. And you can figure out there's a layer 1, layer 2, and layer 3, and object layers and others, and obstacles, masks, and bridge, and appears. So this is pretty familiar, like Photoshop, this software is having the layer, this concept. So let's go with the layer 1. And we can drag and drop these objects on object layers. Or we can remove them first. Let's draw some tile. So we can create a new block 1 layer, and we name it as tile. Now we can draw it. Or we can select all of this to completely put 3 of it, and we use erase to erase rest of them. And we create another one, tile 2, to get some trees there. Okay, we place some tree and plant some bushes. Another type of the trees. You may ask, what if you directly draw the tree here? We can try it. So it will have this kind of the effect. It's not good. So I just undo. Now we zoom it a little bit. And back to this layer. Erase this one. And let's do some rocks on the ground. So we can drag and release. If it's not beautiful, we can put glass here. Oops. Undo too much. And grass. Put some lake in the middle. Maybe here. Another lake here. Then here's the mask layer and obstacles layer. We probably need obstacles to making sure the lake is not able to pass it through. Making sure players cannot climb in these positions. All right, so we're back to here and trying to build a bridge here and a bridge here. Because we already draw the obstacles here And we have another layers called bridge. We can also draw the bridge here. It will override the obstacles and allow the players to passing through this area. And final, we switch back to the object layer and switch back here as well into the object. We draw a player here, little node here. Change the orientation. Now we see the little guy was disappeared. That's because the layers. If we move the object the layers a little bit upper to those layers, now the little guy has disappeared. All right. And we select a born place for this little guy. So he will born here. And as usual, we put a stick on the ground for this little guy to pick it up. That's pretty much for the drawing systems. So you can use these systems to create the different scenes and maps for your games. All right, now I'm going to show you the blockchain version of this ARPG game. Let's run this game. So firstly, it will ask me for connected to my wallet. Let's click this button. It's asked me to click my ETH wallet, and here's my wallet. It will call out my wallet in the Chrome extension, and I'm unlocking. All right, and log in my account. Connecting. Yay, it's connected. And here is my wallet address. And let's say continued. All right, so in this interface, I think you are very familiar because you already saw my demo previously. And here's the sticks, as usual. Yeah, not a legitimate stick, I know. And here is the address for my wallet address because I already logged in. Let's have a conversation with this little guy. He told me you can't go there. He is blocking me at this moment. And let's have a conversation with this NPC, the little girl. Hello, how can I help you? So if you have no idea what this Chinese characters means, no worries. In the next session, we will hands-on you to create your own blockchain games. In that sessions, we will change these Chinese characters into the English one. So the first one is to get the name of the token. Let's click it. It will have the interaction with the wallet and got my token. My token name is test token. And second one is to get the balance of my token. Currently, I have 995 balance of my tokens. So here, the display is here. Let's click the third one, which is the transfer token. New address detected. Click here to add to your address book. Transfer. Yes, confirm. Now it says confirming your transaction. Because this is the online version, so it takes a while to confirm the transaction. And in this time, during this period, the game will be paused. Okay, the transaction is completed, and the transaction address is displayed, and the return number is 0, which means perfect. And we change the token balance again. All right. There's 15 tokens being transferred out. And let's see the fourth option, which is airdrop, the favorite feature I like. Contract interaction. Yes, airdrop token, pending. Confirmed. There we go. And let's check the balance again. Okay, now I get 1080 token. So let's talk with this little guy to see what happened. He said, all right, I will let you go. Seems like I figured out I met all the conditions. So now I can pass through. Now I go to the regular version. All right, let's back to our topic. In this session, we will cover following content. First, we will introduce the template and module in Game Creator DX, and then we'll introduce the blockchain plugins. Then, we will step by step tell you how to create your own blockchain game. So we will majorly focus on how to interact your game with ETH smart contract with these 4 basic features. So first is pull token name. Second is pull token balance. Third is transfer token. And fourth, airdrop token. After finish 4 of above, we will then create a NPC to interact your ETH smart contract features with this game. All right, so first we need to open the game creator and the ARPG template. So we will using the ARPG template today to demonstrate how to integrate with ETH smart contract. And let's first to making sure the environment settings are okay. So first we click here, plugin manager, to making sure the ETH plugin is installed. So in this Game Creator DX version, by default, we will having this plugin installed for you. Then this module and template already be loaded. So we can click here, menu, and open a template, and we load a new template. All right, finished. So the template just be loaded again. And this template you probably get very familiar with because when in our session number 1, to demonstrate ARPG game, in this one, the little node here is going to here, tackle all those enemies, and save the goal. Okay, this big enemy, maybe a little bit deeper. So let's back to the first scenes when this little node here is born. Since we are creating the ETH smart contract interactive game, so we would with the better to load and initialize the ETH smart contract when we just enter this game. So we're gonna to put the parameters here when enter this scene to load the smart contract address and ABI, those kind of the parameters. Now I'm going to show you how to put these parameters into it. So in this session, I assume you already developed your own smart contract with the ChainIDE. So we already having the demo IDE here. So we're not gonna to demonstrate how to create and develop your own smart contract, but you can, just using our demo one. So here is our ERC20 example smart contract. So in this contract, it will have the following features. So the token name is test token, and the symbol is TS, and total supply is 1 million, and the demicode is 18. So this is important. Later we will using these parameters. And the first function is get token name and balance off, and the transfer. These two functions, we will call them later. And also airdrop token. All right, let's close this ChainIDE editor and back to our game editor. So what we're gonna do when this game enters the scene? So we're gonna to click here to generate some events when enter the scene. So first, I would like to put some strings into the variables. So let's randomly pick one, let's say 10, and name it as our smart contract address. Smart contract address. And in this demo, we already deployed a smart contract for test in the chain. So I just copy and paste the smart contract address here and click confirm. So what will happen when this game is initialized is it will load into this scene and will load write this smart contract address into the variables number 10. Then we're gonna to put the ABI into it as well. So number 11, smart contract ABI, contract ABI. Let me copy and paste from someone else. Copy, paste here, confirm. After we finish these two, we would like to having this game pop up an interface to having the player log into their own wallet. So now we're gonna to pop up a interface. So before we add the interface popping up here in the event, we'd better to create the interface first. So click here, database, and choose the interface. And we create a new interface, someone in maybe 20 number. And we drag and release a frame. Make it a little bit bigger. And then we draw a button here. Then we can optionally put some string here. Let me put some string here. Please connect your wallet. Adjust the position and change the button name as well. Connect. Okay, we just finished the GUI of this interface, but we forgot the most important things is to put an event on this button to call the ETH smart contract. So we click here, click events, and create a new event. When we click this button, double click here, and we use the plugin, which is the ETH plugin and ETH connect wallet using this one. All right, now we config all the parameters to connect it to the wallet. So the first parameters is the connection status. So this means after the connection between the wallet, it will write down the connection status into these variables in the game. And the second is the address of the wallet. After successful connected, it will write down the wallet address into the game variables, and we're gonna to specify this one into a new one. It's using the number 12, this string variables as wallet address. Confirm. And here is the chain ID or the chain network ID. So sometime when we developing the game, we probably using a test network for the chain to debug. So we put the chain network ID here as a new string variables. It will show errors if there's something goes wrong, and click confirm. Now here it appears all the parameters. What will happen after we click this button? Oh, I forgot a very important thing about this button is when we click the button, it will popping up the plugin to connect with a wallet, but we forgot after the connection, we should expect this interface be closed itself. So we click here to add another event, which is the interface. Yes. After the connection, it will close in this one and back to the game. So this is very important. I almost forget. And let's click apply and confirm. Back to here. All right, now we're back to the game creator again. So we just finished the string for the contract address and the contract API. Then we're going to create a popping up show interface with which is the interface we just created here. Yes, number 20, and yeah, confirm. Yeah, I forgot to name the number 20 interface, wallet connection. Yeah, there we go. And when we're doing the login or the wallet connection, we would like this interface being always displayed there. So we will add another function or event here called waiting this interface. So we click here to add another event, which is in the plugin command to wait and the interface close, and we choose the interface, which is this one, 20, wallet connection, say confirm, yes. So now we are okay. And for the wallet connection interface, we can also modify it here in the data and the interface, which is here, connecting ETH1. So we're going to change it from Chinese to English. Connect wallet. And this one. Okay, here we go. Switch here from the events to the component itself, basics. Connect ETH wallet. And this one. Select your wallet. Right. Are not connected. And network. All right. Apply. And then here, send in the transaction. Submit transaction. All right. Here is your wallet address. Oops. And put this guy a little bit here. Test is not connected. And this one. Let's double click here, which is the network ID. not connected. When it's connected, it will reflect the actual variables there. All right, and this is the receiving address. And this is ETH amount. All right, this button, change it into submit. And this one, verifying transaction. There you go. TS hash, good, apply. Then we move into the next one. This is the contract transaction popping up, contract confirm pop up. And this one, verifying transaction. Please wait. And this one is creating contract. Please connect or please switch to your ETH wallet. All right, confirm. So we finished this interface when we connect into our ETH smart contract. Confirm. All right, let's have a test run to see what happened. All right, so we click here, test game, save. Yes, save the game, save the project and the test run. So it will deploy to our web browser. And we already saw this interface popping up. Please connect to your wallet. Let's click this button, connect, and show my wallet, which is the MetaMask, and my test account. Yes, connect, connecting. Boop, boop. Yes, connected. So finish. Yeah, we got some problem. So it not automatically disappeared. So we will back to our game creator and go to the interface to see what happened there. So the interface is the first group and the level 20 wallet connection. And this button, we put some events there. And after this one, we close the interface and we are closing this number 20 interface, not closing the interface number 1. And we apply, confirm, confirm, and we test again. All right, we connect, select, it's connected because I already logged into my wallet. All right, finish. Now it's disappeared, and it just say, yeah, the game you are quite familiar, the stakes. Yes, and we're good to go. Let me go back. Haha. All right, let's back to the game creator DX and config the next one. So in order to make our debug easier, so we decided to put something here in the game main interface to reflect the status of the smart contract. So let's go to the database, interface, and the game interface. This one. Zoom out a little bit. Game main interface. So we will put a test here to reflect the smart contract address. So we drag and release a string here and put the string in a test, say wallet address. Make it a little bit bigger. And test color, let's do it in white. All right. That's the statics test. And we drag again, another, and make it in white as well. But this time we are not put a statics test. We want it to show the variables, which is our wallet address. And this should appear after this variables being written from the ETH plugin. And we also would like to have the balance into it. So here, say total balance. And test color, make it easier for read. White. Oops. And 2. Okay. Test color, white. Apply. Then we probably need a new variable here as the total balance. All right. Apply, confirm. All right, now we're gonna to create a NPC to interact with our player with the ETH smart contract. Let's adjust the orientation and name this NPC as ETH operator. And then we create a click event to this NPC. So first, we would like, when our player click on this NPC, we would like to show the choices. So the menu number 1 should be get token name. The option number 2 should be get token balance. The third one should be transact or transfer token. The fourth one is my favorite, airdrop token. And put a cancel there. Okay, we click confirm. And the first option, get the token name. Let's config this one. Double click here and using the plugin called contract. And let's put a get token name here. And token name address, we should put the smart contract address into it. So we already put this into the game string variables. So we just very simply call this game string, and ABI did the same. Just choose it, super fast. Then the function name is name, which is defined by the smart contract you developed or we use it for test. And here is the execution result. It's coming back from the return code as a 1 or 2 or 3 or 4. If the return code is 0, which means everything is good. And the return data is the token name. Should be a string of a, name of the token name. Let's put this into the token number, the string variables number 15, token name. Confirm. Then we config the next one, get token balance. Double click here, plug in, ETH call contract, get token name, token balance. Smart contract address, ABI, function, balance, of, which also defined by your smart contract, and put the parameters is your wallet address. And I'm pretty sure your player just want to know their own wallet balance and return the number into the token name. Sorry, it's not the token name, token balance. And the delimiter is 18, which is also defined by your smart contract. Execution code is return code. Yes, confirm. And also add a pop-up message. Show test. Hey, your token balance is insert a string token balance here and confirm. Then we move to the next one, transfer token. Double click, plug in, call contract, transfer token, smart contract address, ABI function transfer. And this function, we need two parameters. One is the destination wallet address. Another is a transfer amount. Since we have Flugo, we put 15 here, and Demico is 18, which is defined by your smart contract. And we hardcore a destination wallet address here. So in your own game, you can have a player input that field and to have player input this two value by themselves. But here we just hardcore, and the mode is write and confirm the transaction, and execution result return to this one return code, and the transaction address, and return to here a new string. And let me copy paste the destination wallet here. All right, confirm. And after the transaction, we want this NPC to pop up a test message to our player, return code. Chain code is a volume, this one, and transaction address is a string, this one, transaction address. Confirm. Then we move to the airdrop. Config this one. Plug in, call contract, and this action is called airdrop token. Smart contract address, as usual, ABI, and the function name for the airdrop is also defined by a smart contract. In here is airdrop token. There we go. And the mode is not read, it should be the write, and we need to confirm the transaction and return the execution return code here and the transaction address here and confirm. And after the airdrop finished, as usual, for a test here, return code, transaction address, the string here. That's it. Okay, so let's have a recap for what we had just did. So first is the call the get the token name, then get the token balance, then transfer token to this receive address, and 15 is not 150 because I'm a frugal, and airdrop. Then let's have a test run. Let's click here, test, and connect it to my wallet. Yes, connected. Oops. So the visibility for the white is not very great here. So later we're gonna change this to the red one, which is increasing the visibility. And let's click here to have some interaction with this ETH operator or NPC. So first, get the token name. Okay, my token name is test token. Sounds good. Then get my token balance. All right, my token balance is 950. Sounds good. Okay, now it appeared here. Then transfer token for 15. Yes, 15 TS and confirm. Verifying the transaction. Since this is a write behavior, so it will having the full transaction in the blockchain. It could take a couple seconds. All right. My transaction confirmed. Region code is 0. So far so good. And the transaction address is here. And then we check our token balance again. It's become 900. All right. So let's do the most amazing one, airdrop token. Say airdrop token. Yes, confirm. I like it. So as same as the transaction transfer token, this transaction, it will take a couple seconds to verify. All right. Transaction address is this one, return code is 0, and I received 25 token. And let's check my token balance again. Oh, wow, it's 1,000. Interface very quickly to making sure the visibility for those debug messages having the very good visibility. Move here, wallet address from the test color from white to the red. Yep. And the string, red as well. Token balance, red. String, red as well. Then let's finish the last part, which is to having create an NPC to have more interaction with this game. So we will put a new NPC here. Small tiny guy, orientation here, and we have a event. We have the click event here, double click, can add a logic and the different conditions. And if the number it is greater or smaller than 1,000, my token, then it will say, I can't let you go there. And the number, the condition should be the numeric from the token balance. And confirm. So if the token balance and has an else set in there, if the token balance is smaller than 1,000, then pop up a test message, say your token balance is under 1,000. I can't let you go. Confirm. Other else, then show another. You are super rich. I will give the way to you. Confirm. And after display this test, we want to move this NPC, jump here to some position to give the way. So we click the scenes, not this one, the scene object, set the object behavior, and we want this guy to jump to a place. So in here, we can figure out the sojourn. You can saw here, it is a position. We want this little guy to jump to here, which is a 7, 9. and we can put this x-axis into 7 and y-axis into 9, and say yes, confirm, and yes, it is jumping, and let's do it again. Phew, good, and confirm. That's it. And before we have a test, let's have a check for all of those settings. Get token name and write into the string token name. Sounds good. And get token balance. Get the token balance off, and wallet address, and read into the token balance. Oh, we need to save as a number, and number key return variables should be here. Number 28 token balance. So making sure this is the number, and transfer token, transfer address, destinations, amount, and this is right, and confirm transaction, return code, and return address, which is good, and we already test that. And then here, the NPC, it's, well, yes, compare with the number 28, this number, and we name this NPC as a blocker. Then we probably need to change the game main interface as well, because it originally shows the balance is a game string, and we now should having this to display as a variables, which is numeric variables, and have it display as red. And number is token balance number 28. This numeric variables sounds good, and confirm. So let's have a test. All right, connect to my wallet. Sounds good. Now the wallet address is appeared here, and the token balance is 0. So I talk to this blocker. The token balance is under 1,000. I can let you go. This is working as intended. And we talk to this ETH operator, and airdrop me some token. Confirm. So verifying the transaction. Good. And check my token balance. 1,100. Sounds good. Let's talk with him again. Wow, I'm super rich, and he will give my way to me. Okay. Now we continue to the game. All right. It's a big win. All right, thank you for watching. Should you have any questions or feedbacks, please welcome to drop an email at oversee@gamecreator.com.cn. And in the meantime, I will give you some time for a break before we move into the next session. And during this time, we will share a link in the Zoom meeting room, and you can click that game into our quick survey. It will just take you 1 minute to quickly feedback the session if you are happy or not. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Julian, for such an amazing whole demonstration of creating blockchain-based games using Game Creator. Mr. Julian introduced an interesting tool, Game Creator, which have existing templates such as PRG templates and many others, and users can even create their own templates. Thanks once again, Mr. Julian, for your time. And I would like to remind all the participants to give feedback to Mr. Julian's speech. We will share the link in our Telegram channel later. And if you have any question regarding Mr. Julian's speech, please feel free to ask in our Telegram channel. So now I would like to invite Mr. Ile to introduce Cell Evolution. Cell Evolution is a game developed by White Matrix team using ChainIDE. I believe this speech will also help you gain useful knowledge that will help you create your own blockchain-based games. So, Mr. Ile, you can start now.
Hello guys, I'm Prophet. I'm the community supervisor of the White Matrix. Welcome to the Global Meta Bootcamp. Today is a lecture of practical explanation of cell evolution project. I will use the cell evolution example to walk you through the decentralized application development process completely. Hope you guys could learn some knowledge from this course. Okay, let's get started now. The first capture is about the overview of the whole project. It includes the overview of the decentralized application development and the overview of the cell evolution game. And in the next two captures, we will talk more details about the development process. Here, I summarize the full program part need to make a DApp. The first one is the front end. Not every DApp will have a front end. You can directly interact with the smart contract by local program or blockchain explorer. But if you want to provide users with a better experience, a good front-end interface is indispensable. The second one is smart contract. Smart contract is the soul of a DApp. Every important logic will write out on the smart contract. Generally speaking, the EVM, which is Ethereum virtual machine environment, use the Solidity language as the programming language for smart contract. But there are also some other blockchains like Polkadot will use Substrate, or Flow use Cadence, and Dfinity will use Modoko or Rust. Due to the limitation of the blockchain performance, we need to carefully consider what kind of logic is reasonable to put on the blockchain. And we should pay attention to the cost of each interaction and about the data storage. The third one is the SDK. SDK is matched with the smart contract, and it will package the part that interact with the smart contract into a simple and universal interface for the front-end and back-end program to call it. At last is the back-end. Only when the blockchain project is large enough and there are more off-chain process logic then we need to deploy the back-end program. So we can put that off-chain processing logic to the back-end program. The back-end program is not have too much difference from the back-end of our traditional internet, and may be used to cover some logic and render and some data storage parts. Now, let me have a brief introduction of the cell evolution system. Cell evolution is a sandbox strategy game, and it's based on the blockchain. In this game, every player is the leader of a clan. They need to balance the adaptability and the survivability and the production of their clan. At the end of each game, you can merge your own race, your own clan to a world, to a specific world. But if the world meets some unbalanced condition, the world will be destroyed. So now, I summarize several goals for players and for the game creators. If you are a player, you will have 3 goals when you play this game. The first thing is you will strive for higher scores. the more sales you have in your plan, you will have more scores. You can see other scores on the blockchain and you can search for it. The second point in this game is all of the operation is like a black box. User can exploring these black boards by themselves and have fun with that. The black box design is an important part with a game because everyone has their own understanding of the game, which creates the difference of the result. We also provide some hidden title for users. When they attach some conditions, we will give them those titles. And on the other hand, as a creator, what can we get from this game? We want to create a balanced world. And this world should meet a specific condition, then it will survive, or the world will be destroyed. So it's also a sociological experiment. Because someone will destroy the world on purpose, and the other one will try to fix it. We will see the whole process of the world surviving. And anyway, I hope everyone who participate in this game can find their own fun and can learn something from the whole process. When we look back at the history, we will find that human society is a spiral process of destruction and rebirth. People will do their choice, and the choice you do will be your future. We want all of the audience and all of the creators and all of the players can learn something from this kind of systems. Like your choice will influence the direction of the world and the other's choice. And now let me go through all the process that if we want to deploy the cell evolution project on ChainIDE. ChainIDE is our middleware platform on the web server that everyone could use ChainIDE to program and to deploy and test your smart contract and decentralized application. So our website is chainide.com. And now we can log in our ChainIDE website and click the Try Now button to go to the dashboard of our ChainIDE project manager. Okay, and then we provided the source code of our cell evolution project on GitHub. This is the cell evolution project repository, and everyone could use this address to come to this repository and to take a look detailedly about the packages and the program and some logic. And you can use this as an example or format to develop more about your own project. Okay, and now ChainIDE support to import a repository from GitHub. So if we want to import this repository, we can click here and to copy this link and go back to ChainIDE, and we can click this button to import the project. We can clone from the GitHub and paste the link here and click this confirm import. Then ChainIDE will help you guys to create a workspace, and it will automatically download the file and some other README documentation from the GitHub. So here we can see here is the content of the cell evolution, and we can open this README file like this. We can use this button to preview this README file. Okay, so the first thing that we need to do is to install the Git to our terminal. ChainIDE provides a terminal function which can help users to use some packages like Hothead, like Truffle, like Ganache, or other tools that can help users to develop the blockchain, to help to develop the decentralized application. So here we click the terminal button and we create an image. We could create a Hothead image that it will automatically pre-install the Hothead package and the user can directly use it. So here we come in and the first thing we need to do is to install the Git, and then we input the command apk add git. Okay, so now we have already installed Git and we have already downloaded the source code. These are the source code. And now we can just use yarn to install the dependency. This operation may take like 5 to 10 minutes. So if you guys are waiting on the if you guys are waiting for this operation, you can do other things on the other pages, or you can read this source source code. Okay, now the install of our dependency package has finished, and then we can go to the next step. We can use yarn to compile some contract, and because yarn uses the function of the Hothead, so we can directly use yarn to compile the contract. You can see here the yarn called the Hothead function, Hothead compile. So it will use the Hothead compiler to compile the smart contract. Okay, we can wait for just a second about the compiling of our smart contract, and we can see in our system that the contracts is in the folder of cell evolution contracts. And we can see several Solidity files. Those files are the content of our smart contract. Okay, now we have finished the compile process. You can see the different contract size and the time you cost to compile it. After the compile process, we need to deploy our cell evolution project. But before we use Hothead to deploy this project, we need to do some configuration first. Let's go to the package and the cell evolution contract and envs and envs.ethereum and .rinkby, this file. We can see several variables that we need to fill in. The first thing is the mnemonic with the MetaMask wallet, and the second is infra that provided by the rinkby infra API that provided by infra website, that you can go to the infra website to apply for rinkby infra API. Then you can use this API to interact with the rinkby network. Okay, the third variable is the Etherscans API. you can go to Etherscan and register an account, and it will give you an API key to interact with the Etherscan website, so we can get some information from that website. So I guess you guys should input your fill in those 3 variables so we can continue to deploy our cell evolution project on RinkBy network. Okay, after set the configuration of our environment, we can use yarn deployed contract command line to deploy our smart contract. You can look at the detail and you can find out that it uses the configuration of this file. And it will deploy this contract on the RinkBy network. Okay, I guess we finished the deployment of our smart contract. Yeah, you can see the gas price and the fee that we caused in this process. Okay, so we finished the deployment of our smart contract. The next step is to package our SDK. Our SDK is connected with our smart contract that we just deployed. Okay, so now we can use yarn build SDK command line to build our SDK, and it will be used for our front end and our back end program. Okay, it's finished. So let's come to the last step. We have deployed the smart contract, we have packaged the SDK, and now we can start our front end of the cell evolution project. Let's use the yarn start web app command line, then it will start a front end of the cell evolution project on this in this terminal. So when we use this command line to start our front end, it will just host this front end service in this terminal. But this terminal is in the Docker, so we need another service called port forwarding to forward this front end page to outside to the public network, so everyone can come to the website and play this game. Okay, after we see this compiled with warnings, there's no warnings, okay. If we see this window, then we can open this port forwarding window, and you can click this add port. Okay, and we can select the image hard hat, and the port will be 3000. We add this one, and then we can open this operator in the web, and then we can see this evolution window, and you can connect with your MetaMask account. Okay, So now we have deployed our front end of the cell evolution project. And let's play one game of this cell evolution. Then I will introduce the details about the program. Okay, let's click the start to start this game. Okay, and at the start we can see there are several settings here, and the survive day will count the day that this round that the cell have survived, and the cell account is very easily to understand. Okay, and there are several things, several data will be stored in this panel. So let's start our first game. The first step to start a game is you should reproduce your cell. Like, okay, I will click this button. Okay, then we finish one step of the reproduction. Okay, and it tells me that my life cycle was -1 and my cell count was +1 and the survive day was +1. Okay, so I click the confirm, and I will quickly play one game and just show you guys how to play this game. And I think it's very easy to understand. Just use those 3 buttons carefully, and you can find out how to get a high score. Okay, I think I should. Okay, if I click this evolution, now it says it needs a balance of attribute to involve. Means those 3 attributes is not in a balanced status. So I should reproduce more, and I should use the mutations. Okay, and I could reproduce more, use the mutations. Okay, and maybe now I can use the evolution. Okay, you can see it will cause a lot of life cycles, but it will add a lot of abilities or some like attributes of your cell. Okay, now you can find out my life cycles is only one day. So maybe I should sleep for a while. Wait a minute. Okay, when you use this dormant, then you can add your life cycle, but it will decrease your cell count. And then I will produce more and produce more and produce more. Okay. Oh, it's game over. When life cycle goes to 0, it will be the game over, and this will be data that of your this round game. And my final score is 2,846. So it will give me some titles. Okay, and you can choose now to upload your data of this game to the blockchain, and it will merge to some words. So if I click the confirm button now, it will interact with the blockchain. Okay, so MetaMask will give you a transaction. You just need to confirm it. Because we use the ring by test network, so it won't cost the real money, it just costs the test coin. Okay, now it's the process of the merging. Okay, it's finished, and it tells you the ID of the cell is 1. Okay, we can just click the confirm, and we can, I don't know if you remember, our cell ID is 1, right? So we can search details of the cell that I wanted, like 1 ID is 1's cell, to search for its data. and okay. So I can just retrieve the data of the number 1 cell, and it will tells me some details of the game that I just played it. Okay, I guess that's almost all things, but there are something about the world data, but I suggest you guys can search by yourself, like how to destroy the world and how to maintain the world. That will be the interesting part of this cell evolution game. After the view of the deployment of the whole project, we will go deeper now to see how the front-end program creates the UI UX to help users interact with the game system and the blockchain. In this section, I will use some examples to illustrate the key points of how to create a project interface. And at first, we will mention the React framework is a very useful framework to build a front-end project. And I will use the homepage as an intro to show you guys how to make a simple web page. I divided the front-end project of Cell Evolution into 4 parts, namely components, storage, static information, and tools. Component contains some interactive functions like background. We can see it, and the buttons, we can click it, and wallet info fetched from the MetaMask, and also we can see the data of our MetaMask wallet. And there are also some loading and alert components which can be used when users have some troubles or need to wait for the back-end operation. Simply out, the component referred to the functional program module in the front-end project. In addition to the primary key, we also need some other places to store the front-end informations, such like the text style and pictures and music resources, etc. And we also need a place to store the cell information of each round, because the cell information of each round is not directly interact with the blockchain. The storage of each round is on the server. This information will be used to display on the UI and will be used in the final link of our integration with the blockchain, like the merge DNA operation. Okay, that's all about the front-end project of Cell Evolution. Let's take a look at some examples. Let's start from a program in Evolution project. This file located in src app.tsx. This function will return a HTML format program of the Evolution game page display, and it's included a basic framework of a page. First will and then will be a style loading process. And next we'll load the background and we'll check the connection with MetaMask. Maybe you will notice that the background will be referred to some other program. And in fact, the background is a 3-dimensional model written by JavaScript. About the detail of this model, you can check it in the package. Next, it will check the status of the player of the game. Like if he has already in the game, the page variable will equals to 1, and it will jump to the game directly. Or if he never been to this game, it will go to the welcome page. And now we can take a look at the welcome page. Welcome page is a very simple page. Only use 3 lines of words in different styles consist of the whole picture. The start maybe you notice the start text can be clicked to jump to other pages because we add an onClicked attribute and which achieves the function of a router. So this is the display of our welcome page. When we want to use MetaMask to connect with the Ethereum network and interact with it, we need to use 2 packages in this project. The first one is MetaMask Detect. As the introduction in MetaMask GitHub, it's a tiny utility for detecting the MetaMask Ethereum provider or any provider inject at window.ethereum. So we will use it to connect the MetaMask plugin in the browser. And not only the Ethereum network, we can also use it to connect to some other network like XDAI or BSC or Polygon. Yeah. And the second one is Ethers. Ethers is a complete Ethereum wallet implementation and utilities in JavaScript. We often use it to call the smart contract or fetch the data from the blockchain. The module that interacts with the blockchain is most different place between our decentralized application and traditional games. I think if you have already developed some games before, you can pay more attention on this part. And when you come to our welcome page or come to our game, if your MetaMask is not switched to the Ringby network, the page will give you a hint to let you know that you should change your network to Ringby in the MetaMask. And after you connect with your MetaMask wallet, the page will show some information about your wallet on this window. And you will find when we store the data, we often encounter some problems, especially when our data spans in different language, such like from JavaScript to Solidity or from Solidity to JavaScript. So now we have a very commonly circumstance here, like we want to use some data from JavaScript to Solidity. There is a third-party library called TypeChain that can provide the convenient service to help developers simply the developer process and realize the intercommunication of data formats between JavaScript and Solidity. So we can use this function in the steps of merge race, the DNA merge into a word to a blockchain, and we can use this service when we just transfer the data from JavaScript to Solidity. Okay, so after the introduction of several examples and some utilities in the project, let me introduce the 3 basic operations of the cell evolution game. These 3 operations make up the gameplay of the entire game system, and at the same time they also included how to use simple method to create a system of rules. You will find out it's very interesting to use simple rules to create a complicated system. The first operation is reproduction. Reproduction is the basis of each group to survive. Reproduction can increase the number of cells, but it will consumes the life cycle of a cell group. It's like human being. When we are doing some activities, we can receive some knowledge, we can increase our spirit, but it will consume our energy. And when the life cycles come to zero, then the game will be over. Life not only reproduce but also needs some way to advance to a high level, and I think evolution is one of them. Evolution can only be carried out under certain conditions, and the attributes must be kept in a related balanced state. Evolution can strengthen the adaptability and the survivability of the clan, but it will consume most of your life cycles, so you should use it cautiously. Through evolution, cells have more possibilities to obtain higher scores and hidden titles, but we must pay attention to the relationship between evolution and life cycles. Otherwise, it will be easy to game over. The second way to enhance cell capability is mutation. The success probability of mutation is related to cell adaptability. Similarly, mutation can enhance all the abilities of a cell and at the same time obtain several numbers of days of life cycles. It can help users to get more points. When you use these three operations appropriately, you can achieve better results in the game and explore more details or more in the game system. As it said in the introduction, there could be three models of mutations. It will happen when some certain conditions filled. Okay, let's see the realization of the reproduction function. We know that we can use the reproduction operation by click the reproduce button. So particularly because in one round of the cell evolution is a centralized game mechanism. So we done this reproduce operation in the server. And when users click the reproduce button, it will make change to overall state of the game data through mathematical and visual method. Like here, we just change the cell number by the calculation of the cell exchange and just added to the original cell number. And we also added changed the day of the game data, and we just recorded all of the changes when we click this reproduce button. The others, like the evolve and the mutation, will be the same way to achieve those functions. And the detail of this operation, the program is at this file, component, main, operators, game, and reproduce. In this path also included some other operations like evolve or mutations. Okay, and then we will, here is the program to see how we load the provider of the Ethereum. Like we will use the Ethers package to interact with the Ethereum blockchain. And the first thing is we need to load the provider. Here is the provider ethers.client.load-provider, and we have already set some configuration of this ethers client, so it can directly load the provider here. And after we load the provider, we can get some info from this ether client, and we can use the package that we just mentioned before, the MetaMask detector, to load the MetaMask provider. And when we fetched the wallet info from the ether client, we can just display those information to the front end, so users can see those kind of things. And we can also use this ethers client to interact with the blockchain. Like here, if we want to use the DNA merge function, how should we do that? It can be ethers client and .dna merge here, and you can input some parameters. These all parameters will be stored on the blockchain, and we can use this program to call the Ethereum, the EVM, I guess. Yeah. So after that, we just need to wait the confirmation from the blockchain, and then we can just assume that our data has been stored to the Ethereum. After we store our data, we could also fetch our data from the blockchain. Like I just to show you guys, if I stored the IDs is one data to the blockchain, and I can use the read sale information to fetch those data. And we can also fetch some word data from the blockchain. And if we want to achieve that function, the first thing is to load the ether client. It's the same things, and then we can use this program to fetch the word data. And here is the word variable. Word variable will included a lot of parameters, and we can use the word ID to get the specific number of the word information. Okay, so we can use this sentence to call some functions of smart contract, and the smart contract will give back some data of this specific word. And okay, then we can read those kind of parameters from this program and display it. Okay, so after we introduce the front end of cell evolution, we can start some introduction of the smart contract of the cell evolution. So when we use smart contract in the cell evolution, it achieves mainly about the DNA fusion function and the word generation logic and judgment, like when the word will be destroyed and how to create a new word and store the word data. Here is a smart contract framework of the cell evolution project. The first thing is we will have several functions in the cell evolution smart contract. There will be 4 types. The first type will be read-only function, like some word data fetch function, some cell data fetch function, or some functions that can read the information from blockchain. And the second function will be user interact function, second classification, like DNA merge. If users want to merge their game information to the word or to the blockchain, they will use the DNA merge function to interact with the cell evolution smart contract. The third function will be admin management function. Most of the blockchain, the game on the blockchain will have this kind of function in case of some hacker or some circumstance that lose control. So the admin have some privilege to stop this game or to restart it. Okay, and the last function will be the tool function. Most of the tool function will be achieve some calculation of mass or some string concat. There will be some data storage in the cell evolution smart contract. Like we will store some variables or store some information of word and store some data of the cell, some specific cell, like you can search the cell information from specific cell ID, something, etc. Yeah. And the next thing is an interface. Now, most of the smart contract have an interface. The other contracts can interact with this smart contract with the interface, or we can just call this smart contract from our local environment by the interface. So interface is just some very easy way to call this smart contract. Okay, and also we will use some packages, tools like Hardhat or Truffle to deploy, to test, to comply our smart contract. And also we will use we will do some config to better deploy the smart contract by those tools. And at last, we will draft some tests to test the safety of this smart contract and to make sure it can be trusted. And the first thing is about preparation before the deployment. As I just showed you guys that before we want to deploy our smart contract, we need to do some configuration to the Hardhat, and we just set a file in this path for you guys that you can directly go to this path to fill in those three parameters. Then you can just easily deploy this the smart contract by yourself by using the Hardhat. And this is the explanation of each variables, and you should go to infra to registered, and you should go to Etherscan to registered and get your API key, then fill in this sentence. Okay, and also we will notice that if there are several accounts in your MetaMask wallet, you should select the appropriate wallet that have the either the link by network test coin to deploy this smart contract. And deployer will be the first wallet, the first address in your MetaMask wallet. Okay, so let's take a look at the DNA merge function. DNA merge function, this is the solidity language of the DNA merge function, and we can notice that this is the input parameter of the DNA merge function. It has a lot of input function like IDs, like the serial numbers, like the adaptivity and survivability, some of those details. So when you want to call this function, you should input those parameters at first. And this is the visibility of this DNA merge function. It's public, means everyone can call this DNA merge function. And it has a predefined, so we need to override here. At last, this function will return a bool variable that tells you this DNA merge process is success or not. Okay, so here that it has some requirements, like it will judge if this condition is filled and does the DNA merge process can be executed or not. After that, is some information storage process. Like we will store those kind of informations to a specific database on the blockchain, and we will convert it to the string and just concat it to one string and then store it in our database on the blockchain. So it will decrease the cost of gas. In fact, if you want to create a game on the blockchain, you should take care of the cost of gas, because every users will be influenced by the cost of gas. If every step will cost a lot of gas, it will make people just don't like to use this game to just recommend to others, or just decrease the influence of your game. And the second thing is I just introduced some read-only function like the word data function and the sale data function, right? So how do we just return those kind of data? There are two functions here. The first function is get sale history function, and you just need to input the sale history ID. Like we just need to tell them which word that you want to get, which word information that you want to get, and just input the ID, and it will return those details of this word. Like we can just fetch this by the mapping of the sale histories variables. Mapping is a hash table data format. It's data, like I can directly input the ID of this word, then I can get the value of this word, the history value of this word, so I can get the information. Okay, and the same thing will happen to the sale database. Like when you input the ID of the sale, then this function will return the data of the sale data from the sale database. First, let's understand the role of the Yarn tool, and let's take a look at how to package the SDK through command and provide it into the front-end program. Yarn is a package manager that doubles down as a project manager. Whether you work on one-shot project or large project, Yarn can cover the management of the project. In this case, we use Yarn to compile, test, and deploy the smart contract. And we use the command line to execute the package process of SDK. We can use the command of yarn workspace add white matrix cell evolution SDK build to build the SDK of the smart contract. And let's see what will happen at the next step. Once we command the build sentence, we will enter the package cell evolution contract SDK path and open the package.json file. We can see there are some script commands supported by this file. When we call the build script now, it will call the pre-build script. We could find out that finally the command line will call the hardhat function to package the SDK. This is one of the ways to use Yarn. You can explore more other application methods by yourself. After we complete a smart contract, we have no way to fully guarantee its security. Since smart contract store smart contract is particularly important. we can use some JavaScript code to call the contract and verify the result. First, we use the expect function to build a test in which the function is called. We use an await and some function. Then we use equal, the keyword equal, to determine whether the return value of the function match our expectations. Like if we expect the result should be 1, then we could use equal 1, this sentence, to check if the result is equal to equal to 1 or not. And when we're doing the test of the smart contract, we could use Chai assertion library to help us. We provide some test examples in the cell evolution test.js file. You guys can check by yourself. And then, before deploying the smart contract, we need to perform some configurations in hard hat. For example, we need to select the network where we want to deploy the smart contract. And maybe we need to set the gas fee that the smart contract need to be spent. First, we need to put the wallet information in the configuration file. You can see there are several things that related to the private key or some account information. And in this picture, we can see that there are some information will be configured in the hard hat configuration file. And you can set some parameters that be used during the deployment, such as the gas limit and waiting the timeout. So if we use the ring by to deploy our smart contract, we could use yarn run hard hat cell evolution deploy, and we can set the await number, which means the block that will be wait after confirmation, and we can choose the network by the network keyword, and then we just input the ring by. So at last, the hard hat will choose the ring by to deploy our smart contract. Okay, we have helped you to deploy a version of Cell Evolution game on the server. You can try it out and explore it by yourself. At the same time, we also open source this project. The second link is the GitHub repository address of Cell Evolution. You can view it and download it. Some developers are welcome to use these templates for secondary development. Okay, today's course is over here. Hope you guys have learned something from today's development course. Please remember to register our participation in the project team and actively participate in some further activities later. Thank you for your listening today.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ile, for such a great demonstration of creating a blockchain-based game. I believe there is much to learn for the audience from this demonstration. So as I already told, we will be collecting some projects at the end of this event. So you can prepare some great projects and it can be either socialify, gamify, metaverse, DAO or any other projects of your interest. And you can choose up to 5 members in your team. And one thing to remember, you need to deploy your projects on Binance Smart Chain. And regarding next week, uh, we have invited amazing speakers next week also. So for the more information, you can check our website for the details of next week's session. If you have any question, you can ask in our Telegram channels and hope you have a good time. Thanks for being with us. Have a good time.